Hi students, today we are going to talk about the factorization of the polynomials ax squared plus bx plus c. And remember, in the last section, we have learned how to factorize x squared plus 3x plus 2 using the cross method. We have to decompose the last constant term into two factors and then write the factors in a vertical format, like this one. X plus 2 multiplied by x plus 1, and we cross multiply it, we can get the middle term of plus 3x here. And therefore we can come up with two factors, x plus 2 times x plus 1. But what if we have the coefficient of the x squared term is not equal to 1, such as factorize 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. And we will have two terms making up the 2x squared. We have 2x times x given 2x squared. And let's see what will happen to the total number of factors pairs in the factorization process. And this is quite obvious that we will have more pairs of factors, since we have another two factors making up the 2x squared term. Okay, let's see the last term. We have minus 5 here. Therefore, it can be either minus 1 times plus 5 or plus 1 times minus 5. And if we cross multiply these factors, we will have a total number of 4 pairs of factors. And the first one will be 2x times x. We have minus 1 and plus 5 here. But then we can immediately realize that the minus 1 and plus 5 can be interchanged. The position can be interchanged to make up another pair of factors. And now we can see that the first group is different from the second group, because if we cross multiply it, the resulting middle term will be different. And there will be a third group and a fourth group too, because we have plus 1 times minus 5, and then finally we interchange minus 5 and plus 1 to give the fourth group. And we can now see which group will give the middle term of plus 3x. And obviously the first group, it can't, because you have plus 10x minus x giving 9x. And what about the second group? It happens that it works. We have plus 5x minus 2x giving 3x. And you can also check the third group and the fourth group. They both cannot give the middle term of plus 3x. And therefore, we can find the two factors. The first one will be 2x plus 5, and the second one will be x minus 1. And now we can write the two factors are 2x plus 5 and x minus 1. And in fact, to play safe, we always need to check our answer by expanding the two factors. Now we have 2x times x giving 2x squared, plus 5 multiplied by minus 1 giving minus 5. And for the middle term, we have plus 5x and then minus 2x given plus 3x. And therefore, we are quite confident that we arrive at the correct answer. And now let's move to factorize 5x squared minus 3x minus 2. We have 5x squared, therefore giving the two factors. One will be 5x and the other one will be x. And minus 2, either we have minus 1 times plus 2 or plus 1 times minus 2. And remember, we have to make up the middle term minus 3x. And since there will be 4 groups of factors, we can write it in a more systematic way and concise way. like this one. 5x, x, we have plus 1, minus 1, plus 2, or plus 2, minus 1, we interchange their position. And the second pair, plus 1, minus 2, and then we interchange their position again. And now we can do the cross multiplication mentally. For example, the first pair, it won't give the term of minus 3x as the middle term. The first pair does not work because obviously you have 5x times 2 giving 10x. That will be too large. And for the second pair, you can see that immediately 5x times minus 1 giving minus 5x, and then plus 2x and giving the term minus 3x as the middle term, and that will work for us. And for the third group and fourth group, they all do not work, and therefore the answer will be 5x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 1. Again, we have to check our answer. 5x times x giving 5x squared, plus 2 minus 1 giving minus 2, and then plus 2x minus 5x giving minus 3x. And therefore, we are quite sure that we have the correct answer. And now let's see another more difficult problem. Factorize 6x squared plus 5x minus 6. And therefore, we can see that in the first term, there will be a total of 4 factors. And minus 6 also. The last term, you have 4 factors. And we can write down as 6x squared can be 6x times 6 or 3x times 2x. And minus 6 will be minus 6 plus 1 or plus 6 minus 1 or plus 2 minus 3 or minus 2 plus 3. And we have to always bear in mind that we have to make up the middle term of plus 5x. And we can see that there will be a lot of factors in this problem. How can we find the correct one, which is only one of the many possible factors? However, we can find a clue by inspecting the size of the numbers, the comparative size of the number. Since we have 6, 1, 6, 1 here, and the middle term is plus 5x, and therefore it is quite obvious that if we choose 6, 1 as the pair of factors, it can't give the middle term of plus 5x, which is in the middle of 6 and 1. And therefore, it is much more likely if we choose 3x times 2x, or plus 2 minus 3, or minus 2 plus 3. These factors are much more likely to give plus 5x if we cross multiply them together. And so, we can simply cross out these not likely to be our answer. We can just cross out those not likely pairs of factors. And now, if we remove all those extreme values, or factors with very large or very small numbers, we can try now 3x, 2x, plus 2 minus 3, minus 2 plus 3. And then we can obviously see that this one does not work for us. And the second pair, 3x times plus 3, we have 9x, and then 2x times minus 2, we have minus 4x. Therefore, 9x minus 4x give us plus 5x. And therefore, we come up with the correct pair of factors. And now we can write down our answer as 3x minus 2 times 2x plus 3. And finally, the checking of the answers is left to you as an exercise. Okay, example 18. Factorize minus 12x squared plus 20 plus x. And remember, we have to rearrange the terms such that we have a descending orders of x in the expression. Therefore, we move this x term in the middle. And we have a minus 12 in the x squared as the coefficient of the x squared. Therefore, we take out the minus 1 here. We have minus bracket 12x squared minus x minus 20. Remember, we have to change sign here because we have taken out minus 1 as the common factor. And now we can list out the factors of 12x squared and minus 20. We can have 12x times 6 or 6x times 2x or 4x times 3x. And for minus 20, we can have minus 20 plus 1 or plus 20 minus 1 or minus 10 plus 2 or plus 10 minus 2 or minus 5 plus 4 or plus 5 minus 4. And in this problem, the middle term is minus x. Therefore, after selecting the correct pair of factors and cross multiply, we have to make up the term of minus x. But now our problem is, how can we screen out all those unlikely factors? There are so many here. And in fact, we have 2 hints in finding the correct pair of factors. The first hint is the size. Again, it's the size of the middle term. We have minus 1 here. And therefore, the two numbers which result from the cross multiplication should be quite similar. They should be quite similar so that they can cancel out and give minus 1 here. And the second hint will be the odd number. We have to check whether the middle term is an odd or even number. And since minus 1 is an odd number, done so. And we all know that we cannot add or subtract 2 even numbers to get an odd number. 兩個雙數加減係製造唔到一個單數。And only we can get an odd number out of 1 odd number and 1 even number. And we can draw a very simple diagram to illustrate the point. If we have 2 even numbers and then subtract or add together, we always get an even number. We have no chance to get an odd number. And if now we have an odd number, that means we have 1 even number and 1 odd number, such that when they add or subtract each other, they will give an odd number. And so we can now cross out all those pairs of factors which are both even numbers, which is 6x, 2x, they are both even numbers. They won't cross multiply to get an odd number. And again, minus 10 plus 2, they are both even numbers. And plus 10 minus 2, they are both even numbers. And this is what we get from the second hint. We check the odd and even numbers of the pair of factors. And for the first hint, we check the size of the number. Since the middle term is minus 1, then therefore, very large or very small numbers, they are not likely to give minus 1. And therefore, we can safely cross out 12x times x minus 20 plus 1. They are either too large or too small. And the plus 12 plus 20 minus 1, 2. And now what's left behind is just only 2 to 3 to 4 pairs of factors. And then if we inspect carefully, we have minus x, therefore 4x times minus 4, we have minus 16x, and then plus 5 multiplied by 3x, we have plus 15x, and therefore minus 16 plus 15x, we have minus x. And now we come up with the pair of factor like this. Plus 5 minus 4 minus 16x plus 15x giving minus x. And therefore now we can write the answer as 4x plus 5 times 3x minus 4. And so we have two strategies for doing cross method. The first one, we have to consider the size of the coefficient of the x term. And the second one, which is much more important, is that we should consider the odd or even property of the middle x term. And note that two even numbers cannot give an odd number. If you have an odd number in the x term, you should have one odd number and one even number. And when we come to the last example, factorize 3x squared minus 10xy minus 8y squared. And we break down the 3x squared term to 3x times x minus 8y squared. We have minus 8y times y, or xy times minus y, or minus 4y times plus 2y, or plus 4y times minus 2y. And now the middle term is minus 10xy. And now we can see that the middle term is minus 10xy, the coefficient of the middle term, minus 10, which is quite large. And it is also an even number. And note that the term 3x squared, both 3 and 1, they are odd number, 单数. And minus 10 is an even number. And so 3x and x should pair up with two even numbers, because only an odd number multiply an even number will get even number. And if we choose such as minus xy times plus y, we have an odd number here, and therefore you will never come up with an even number middle term. And therefore in this case we should choose 4y and 2y. We can simply cross out xy and y since they are not possible. And after some mental calculation, we have 3x and x and plus 2y minus 4y. Since 3x times minus 4y, we have minus 12xy, and then x times 2y, we have plus 2xy. Therefore minus 12 plus 2, we get minus 10xy. And therefore the answer will be 3x plus 2y times x minus 4y.